There's a couple billion people in the world, and a million other places we could be, but you're here with me. Take a moment just to take it in, 'cause every high and every low led to this. I'm just so glad you exist.
Yeah, that bloody hair. Yeah. I'm gonna bleed. Jaw back, no blood. That's 3 for 3.
Well done.
I'm definitely getting one that's definitely gonna be. Ah, you fucking cunt!
You fucking whistling it the needle around. Did you get the cap on it and then prick your finger? How the fuck?
How the fuck did I manage that? Look at that.
I don't know, but it says still.
Look. The fuck?
My days, Vicky.
Hi guys, I thought I'd do like an update while I do the new injection. You're probably thinking, new injection? What do you mean? Like, you're so far along, Vic. Why would you possibly have a new injection? Well, my first treatment scan showed that my follicle count for a start has been the lowest it's been so far. Would do, you know, when you actually need it to do as it's bloody told, it doesn't. Sounds about right. Size of that. Yeah, so that's great. That aside, like the fact that it's probably been the lowest that it has been this entire time. Well, if would you do that? Bear with me, this is the first time I'm doing this one. It's similar to Cetrotide, but at the same time a bit different. Exactly what I thought was going to happen. Alright. I don't like their instructions. I'm just going to put that fucking straight. That is stupid. But anyway, yeah. So, obviously you have your first treatment scan. Sometimes they do blood, sometimes they do not. They did not with me. And when I first started, I noticed that my dosage of Gonagaweth was lower than what my my original treatment plan was meant to be. So my original treatment plan, my IVF was 225. Now, with my actual plan, it was lowered to 150. So keep that in mind. So when they first looked at my follicles, obviously, so you have your overall follicle count from both ovaries, and then you have which follicles are measuring a bit bigger. So we obviously want them to be bigger for it to be a mature egg. Now, I left the first treatment scan with, I love when it does that, a number of 8 from both ovaries, a total of 8 that were measuring okay. I'm not gonna lie, I personally weren't happy with that number, and I know some people will be like, oh, I had lower, and you know, I always say this, like, you're allowed to have anxiety about your numbers, like that is actually normal with IVF, because, you know, we're not used to this on the grand scheme of things. Like, if this is your first round of IVF, you're definitely not going to be used to the process. I mean, mine's been all over the place and completely different to a lot of people's, especially people my age. And when I first decided to do this, everyone was like, oh, you're only 25. Well, I was actually 24. No, I wasn't. I was 23 when I decided to do it. So I decided to do it I officially started the process in August of 2022. I turned 24. I don't even know my age, mate. I ain't gonna lie. Brain fog. Regardless, right? I was in my early 20s. I'll just say that. I was in my early 20s, and yeah. People were just like, oh, it's silly, you don't need to do it yet, like, you've got time and stuff like this. I think I'm living proof that your age does not matter at all. Like, it really does not. And that these feelings that we have about stuff are normally right. Unfortunately. Anyway, my second treatment scan, my follicles had actually dropped down to 6. And I'm not gonna lie, I would have probably had a meltdown in that appointment, and I could see her face. In fact, the lady that has done both of my baseline scans was the one that did my second treatment scan, funnily enough, and I could see her face instantly, like, it just dropped, and I was like, this is like, it's not the best, you know. So she continued to like do my scan and stuff, and then she realised that one of my little follicles is in the shape of a love heart. Like, it probably won't stay like that, but it was just like a little sign just in the shape of a love heart, which, I'm not gonna lie, it's stuff like this. It sounds so silly to some people, but it's stuff like that it's just, it keeps you going. And I kind of felt like in that appointment, you know, this was a sign that my baby's out there somewhere, like, I think. And I must admit, I did get a little bit teary, nothing too much, but I definitely got a little bit teary, and yeah, when I came out of that scan, so once you've had the scan, like, you go over the other side of the curtain, and they have a little chat. Like, it's not a long chat at all. They have a little chat with you. Right, let's pause the chatting for a minute, because I chat for England and I actually do need to get this done. So this is my new injection. and I'll explain more about this in a minute. But I have no idea how this is going to go. I have no idea how the side effects are going to go. This is the first dose of this particular med, so pray for me on that one. It looks like there's 1 ml of lutropium, I think it's called, but yeah, we'll check in with that in a minute. But wish me bloody luck, because this is the first one. I hate the first ones because I feel like they are the worst. It warned me that this one might sting. Oh, there it is. She was not lying. It definitely stings a little bit. In the grand scheme of things, that is not too bad, but I have a very high pain tolerance. But I can feel it stinging. It's kind of like sharp, like a sharp pain. It's not too bad. Like this is honestly not too bad. So I'm just gonna de-access these needles while I chat with you. So yeah, anyway, when it came to talking to her about like what the hell is going on, I think I put my foot down at that point and was like, look, I'm not being funny, but I'm 25, 6 follicles, it's just not, surely that's not normal. And she was like, nope. She's quite, I don't want to say blunt, like she is a bit of a blunt nurse, but like in the best way possible. Like she'll tell you as it is, she'll tell you what we need to fix, like if we can fix it and stuff like that, which I personally appreciate. Like I don't want no bullshit, like I need to know, like is there anything I can do, or is there anything we can do to kind of sort this problem, because this isn't realistically where we want to be. And I asked if any of my smaller follicles, because there are some smaller follicles, can catch up at this point, and they are saying no, they won't. Realistically, it's going to be those 6 that we try and now save, because my biggest one, which happens to be my little love heart one, it's only measuring 12 something. They need to get to, I do believe, 18. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that one. Yeah, so God knows. So when I did question her and I said, look, we need to do something here, am I upping my Gonagol F dose to what it was meant to be? Because like, you've got to understand, they did my treatment plan over a year ago. As much as I did have another baseline, they never redid my treatment plan, because they were so fixated on pissing me about for these medical letters that realistically was not necessary. Like letters like, if I get a headache, can I get an appointment with my GP, was made the priority over an actual treatment plan. And looking at the fact that I do have endometriosis, I do have adenomyosis, my body has been through 16 operations since 2016, that I do have a stoma, I do have a suprapubic catheter, I have had not 1 but 3 endo surgeries, one of which they did not find anything, but it was a couple of months after an exploratory surgery where my appendix was taken, but they also saw an ovarian cyst, or they thought an ovarian cyst had burst. Also, in my last endo surgery, he had to do a ovarian suspension, which is pretty much where they put like a little stitch into the ovary, so they stitch it to the abdomen while they do work, and my ovary did bleed. So that was my left ovary. I've had endometriosis on my left ovary. I've had dilation of my left fallopian tube. So, you know, like there is quite a lot going on. My grading for endo is only a 2 or 3. but I think it's proof. Like, all this shit does affect your body. And I think with all of that in mind, they realistically shouldn't have started at 150. Or they should have changed it on that first treatment appointment when it was quite evident that, you know, these numbers aren't the best. Not to mention that the measuring of the follicles weren't the best either. But they didn't. Anyway, I was told, right, like, go home. So this was yesterday. Go home and we'll ring you in the afternoon and say what needs to happen, like what needs to change, if anything needs to change, blah, 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 blah. She ended up ringing me, and I had my bloods that day. So I had my bloods yesterday, and they get back pretty quick with this sort of clinic. One of my hormones were completely fine, and then my LH was too low. Now, whether that was low because I personally don't make a lot of it, I don't know, because no one bothers to check. Quite frankly, it's ridiculous, I know. Or whether that was low because the Cetrotide, which is to stop, is the second injection I do so it's the first injection I do in the day, but it's the second type of injection that I started in this process. It stops ovulation. So that can drop your numbers. So it's whether that did it or if I have a problem in general. So with that in mind, they need that to make good quality good quality embryos, but good quality follicles, which obviously a follicle should hold an egg, but it's not always guaranteed. So we want the best quality eggs. It's really about the quality of the egg over the number of eggs you get. You could have like 40 plus eggs collected, but only so many are mature. So it's kind of understanding that with IVF, it's very difficult to get your head around. So with that in mind, they decided to start me on a third injection a day. So I've got 2 of them. I've just started the first one. You just watched me do the first one with this bad boy. And like I said, it's lutropin, I think it's called, this one. So I'm not going to lie, that did cost me more money. That was another £75 today for 2 injections. And the lady that I spoke to today, I asked her straight, like, does this mean that my cycle could be extended? Which means instead of doing it for the 10 days of stim, that I could do up to 16. Which also means I have to pay for more Cetrotide. I do have 1 more dose in this Gonagueth pen, and I have a 900 IU pen in the fridge too. So with the pen in the fridge and that one, I have 1 week of Gonagueth like at my disposal if they keep it at 150. Cetrotide, I have 2 more doses, like I only have 2 more needles. And I only have 1 more of this lutropin or whatever it's called. So if they extend it, I'm going to have to buy more Cetrotide, 110%. So that's more money. So my running total for meds right now is about 1,400 for meds. That's without vitamins. Like, them vitamins aside have cost me quite a lot as well. You wouldn't think it, because of, like, it's literally a vitamin, but it adds up. Like, this is what I say with IVF. Everything adds up. The price changes. The numbers change constantly. You honestly just have to go with the flow. I'm not made for money. I don't shit money. I don't sit on money either. So, like, today, 75 quid, I was like, wow. There goes reflexology. Because, like, I can't do everything. It's only me doing it. And anyone going through this as a single parent by choice, like, keep that in mind. Like, just because you've paid, say for example you've got a loan amount of, I think mine was 6,000 and something, does not mean that is the total. Like, it's really not. Like, with IVF, it's genuinely not. Like, petrol and stuff, like, I've had to go back to Birmingham today just to pick up medication and come home. It's 40 minutes each way. So, and the appointments have been every 2 days for me. It's my next treatment scan is on Monday, so I actually waited 3 days. I don't think that was necessarily the best idea, but oh well, that is what they chose to do. So I've got 2 days of the Latropin or whatever the fuck it's called. And then Monday we'll see if that LH surge goes up. I am at higher risk for OHSS now, which is just, it's very worrying in itself because my body is so unpredictable. I get everyone's is unpredictable, but mine is bitch. So yeah, I did ask the lady today, like, with this new medication, are we looking at them smaller follicles picking up? She said no. Like, straight up, she was like, no. Our focus is the 6 and seeing if the 6 will survive. And I was like, that's concerning. Like, okay, we want 6 to survive now. We can stop, like, complaining that we've got 6 and just pray that we keep 6. This is what I mean with IVF. You're like, oh, I've got this goal to have this many. Stop. Like, don't have a goal. I know that sounds horrible, but do not have a goal. I was hoping for at least 12, and now I'm just praying that my little 6 continue. There is 2 that are just slightly behind. What I thought was slightly behind, and she's saying that they ain't gonna do it either. It's literally going to be that 6. So yeah, we just gotta hope that those 6 and my little love heart egg make it, really. I have no idea how my body is going to react to this LH surge. I have no idea what the hell is going to happen, if I'm honest. All I know is I'm injecting now 3 times a day till Monday. Probably will continue another dose of 3 a day on Monday, if I'm honest. From how they're speaking, it's very likely. And I run out of Cetrotide on Monday. So yeah, Vic will definitely be buying more Cetrotide. Brilliant. That's not cheap. And I guess, yeah, that's it for now. I'll probably check in later to talk about emotions, but right now I want to lay down. I've literally just woke up to do all of this. We'll get there. I've already started saving all my injection bits. Crazy. Honestly crazy. And I'm meant to be on a mild cycle, and please, 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 I can't say it enough. If you've stumbled on this just because you're bored or watching or you're just curious and you are a woman, please get your AMH tested. It is actually important, and I fucking believe that we should have we should have it tested, like, especially if you're diagnosed with endometriosis or polycystic ovary syndrome or adenomyosis, anything like that. I fully believe you should have your AMH tested. So yeah, thanks for checking in, I guess, guys. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than if you're going through IVF, good luck, and that everything's gonna be alright, and just kind of just think of my little heart egg, because it makes me feel better. So hopefully it makes you feel better too. See you later.